If you think the property tax bill for your home is high, just wait until you hear from this man out in the South Chicago suburbs. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a man out in the South Chicago suburbs who was hit with a ridiculously high bill for the property tax on his home. Now, normally his bill is right around $1,800, and they break it up in two payments throughout the year. This time, however, the first payment was right around $1,000, which is kind of average, but the next payment was like $29,000 and change, for a grand total of over $30,000 US for his personal property tax bill. Now, his house is only worth about $115,000, maybe not even that much. So how are you paying $30,000 in taxes for a home that's only worth $100,000 at best? It doesn't make any sense now, does it? Now, before we get into the video, they're going to say, oh, it was a mistake. We didn't mean it. It was an accident. It was an error. But he had to go to the news to get the whole thing resolved. So was it a mistake, or are you just saying that it was a mistake to cover your trail, to just protect yourself? Now, before I go any further, let's get into the actual clip here. And of course, I will link to everything in the box. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Now to a South Suburban man who got quite the sticker shock when he opened his property tax bill, a tax hike of more than $35,000.
We've been warning about a spike in taxes across the South Suburbs. Well, tonight, Tia Ewing has the massive mistake on this homeowner's bill. Tia.
Mistake.
Well, Dawn and also Scott, the current homeowner, says that he received this tax bill showing that his property, his home that was built in 1950, was assessed at over a little more than $1 million. But Daryl Lloyd says that his home is only worth a little more than $180,000.
So I was a little wrong about the valuation. I said it was like $100,000 is worth. He says it's like worth about $180, but $100,000. $180,000, it doesn't matter. The bill should not be for $35,000 in 1 year for taxes on a home that's worth those amounts.
I was devastated.
You see the house in the background. Now, you're not looking at some type of posh estate. You're looking at a regular suburban home. This is not worth that much money.
Let me look at the percentage, but I was literally devastated when I saw that increase.
Daryl Lloyd lives a modest lifestyle. He bought this 3-bedroom, 1-bath home in 2006 and paid cash $115,000.
Very smart thing to do. If you have that kind of money and you don't need to have a really big, crazy lifestyle, get you something that's pretty manageable, 1,000 square foot, 3-bed, 1-bath, you pay for it in cash, no mortgage. All you got to do is pay your taxes. But then they say, hey, check it out. Your taxes are going to be an astronomical, unaffordable amount. What do you do then?
I see 960 square feet. I don't have a second floor. I don't have a basement.
Just days ago, his home sweet home on Gardner Avenue in unincorporated Chicago Heights felt more like a nightmare.
And I just want to say something right quick. That's really all you need. If it's just him by himself, he didn't have any kids living with him. Maybe his kids are grown. That's all you really need. That's how houses used to be back in the day. Now we have these McMansions, but that's a different story, and I digress.
I'm at a loss. So right now, I don't know what to do. I can't even sell the house because they see the taxes. Everybody gonna run.
This is the tax bill that Lloyd received last year.
So you see the bill last year is 2 installments. The first installment was $1,592, and the second one was $228. All right, that's the total thing. So that's a grand total of $1,820.82 for the 2022 tax year that he paid in 2023. Now let's look at the 2023 tax bill this year, 2024.
A little over $1,800, but this is the whopping bill he received last week.
So look, the first installment was $1,001.45. The second amount was $29,573.44. You're like, okay, what's going on here? What is like? I think on Bill Gates, like, what's happening? I have a regular modest house. What's going on?
A property tax hike of over 3,811% for a total of over $30,000. The property was valued at over $1 million.
Nothing over here is worth $1 million.
The diesel mechanic and safety inspector is currently receiving disability after suffering an injury.
So you're talking about a hardworking guy. He was able to save up $115,000, pay the house in cash. He's injured. You can see the way he's walking. He's injured. All right. Because sometimes when you're doing these kind of jobs with heavy equipment, you might get injured. Now they're saying, hey, all right, I know you're a hardworking man. You paid for your house in cash. You did all the right things. You have a good skill. But check it out. Pay me $30,000 right now or you're going to lose your home.
I had to move in with a relative or something. You know, I can't afford it.
The Cook County Treasurer's Office says, sadly, Lloyd isn't the only homeowner with a large tax bill. The office conducted this analysis and found that, quote, the assessor's office acknowledged it erred in calculating land values for more than 4,400 homes in the south and southwest suburbs. That led to severe overassessments for homes on larger plots of land.
How do you mess things up that badly, though? When you're talking about bills, people got to pay. I mean, you can look at his house and see that it's not worth $1 million. And that's nothing against my man. I'm just saying, it's just the reality. It's okay. I wouldn't mind living in a house like that, to be totally honest. So it's not even a thing of trying to attack him. It's about attacking them, those made the error. What are you even looking at? And you did that for 4,400 homes. Was it some kind of AI model that you followed? Did you even go to the place? I'd like to know what was behind the so-called error, or if it was an error at all. And if we're just using the error thing as an excuse, now that you got caught by the news media, because they could have just paid the money and you wouldn't have said nothing.
The errors were discovered too late in the process for them to be corrected before tax bills were calculated, printed, and mailed. Lloyd says he went to the Cook County Tax Assessor's office to get help and kept getting the runaround.
I said, let me go downtown City Hall to the assessor's office. And at that point, I showed them my taxes and I told them that I had a substantial increase, and they was like, everybody taxes increase. I talked to another gentleman. He looked around and made some calls, and he said, well, I called another department. They won't answer the phone.
That's when Lloyd called us about the $1 million mistake.
So look, they say it was a mistake. They say it was an accident. They say it was a mishap, but he had to go through all these different channels. They're talking about, well, the taxes just went up and people not answering the phone, giving them the runaround. So when he goes to the news, all of a sudden, oh, we're so sorry. It was a mistake. All this, that, and the third.
Fox 32 was able to reach the assessor's office, and tonight we have confirmation that the astronomical tax increase is a mistake. The assessor tells us, quote, this property was given an incorrect assessment due to a permit that was unintentionally applied to the property. We will process a corrected tax bill for this property in the coming weeks, ensuring that the homeowner will ultimately pay the right amount in property taxes.
It happened to me. It probably happened to other people. I'd like to see something, immediate action.
Well, Lloyd says he'll be watching his mailbox every single day, waiting for that certificate of error to arrive from the assessor's office. No timeline was given for that. But if you do feel like your property taxes are wrong, there is an appeal process, and there's a link to this story on our homepage for you to do that.
So I'll link to this video in the box, and also probably to that story if you guys have any problems about your taxes out there. And I guess it'd be Cook County, Illinois, South Chicago suburbs, and the surrounding area. But as I close, I want to say this: I'm not buying that mistake story. I'm not buying it. I think they want to increase taxes, and they're trying to gauge and see if people will pay it. Because look, if he was to pay the money, which he couldn't, but let's say he did. Would they say anything to him about, oh, it was a mistake and you don't need to pay and here's a refund? I don't know. I wouldn't trust these people. I wouldn't trust these people as far as I can throw them at all. And I think that ultimately when they quote unquote fix it, it's still going to be an increase. Maybe hey man, look, You got to pay for the migrants and all that kind of stuff some kind of way. So why not just tax regular everyday people with no mortgage who are injured from their job? Why not do that? Great idea, right? But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Are you buying the "it was a mistake" excuse? Do you think there's more here? What do you think the revision will be on his taxes? Will it be comparable to the previous year, or is it still going to be a lot higher, just not $35,000 high? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This whole thing is bogus. I think they're trying to raise taxes in the area to pay for certain things that have become very expensive lately. Like, I don't know, maybe the mayor's little frohawk activity that he spent $13,000 a year on. That's one tax bill right there. Take care of the frohawk. Also, the migrant crisis. How much is that costing the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois? Quite a few millions, if not billions of dollars. So, hey, what's the best way to raise money to pay for all these things that they shouldn't be paying for? I don't know. Let's tax some poor injured diesel mechanic who has no mortgage on his personal property taxes to get the money that way. That's a grand idea, ain't it? But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.